Okay, folks, so we've been doing character sheets this week. We will probably be continuing this on Monday too, because there's quite a few to do, and I'll admit it, I didn't do much work yesterday. I wasn't feeling the best. Moonshadow knows this because I told him. I was paranoid I had COVID, but I totally haven't. I'll just tell you that because I'm a hermit and I never go out, so it's kind of impossible for me to get it. So I'm all good. I'm all good, guys. Feeling much better today. And whenever I can't pronounce a name, I just call them Dave. No offence to anything, but that's why I do. Or Bob as well. Bob's another one that's easy to say. Frankie Banana, thank you for the follow. How are you doing? I like your name. Bananas are good. All right, guys. So, yeah, there's a couple that have been posted on the Twitter. If you follow our Raindrop Chronicles Twitter, you might notice that Fantasies and Davers are there. I've also popped them in the Discord. I've put a new little icon next to them so we know that they're the new characters. And I've given them a tick as well for being posted on Twitter and Discord. I've got all super organised here. Made sure that I know exactly what I'm doing. It's just so, because I know I'll forget otherwise if I don't do this. It's nice being organised sometimes. Feeling better today, Rose? That's great. Yes, I do. Much better. Just one of those offish days. We all have them. But we'll definitely get. I hope to get Master Emerald, White, Glacian and Zexes, and maybe even Storms done today. And then Monday we can finish the last 4. So we'll see how we get on. Sometimes we slower, like on Wednesday's stream we were much slower, and that was because we had a very chatty stream on Wednesday, which I love chatty streams, so I don't mind at all if we have chatty streams. They're the best. Are you using RPG Maker? I am, Zayo. I am indeed. I've got the program command here in case folks want to have a peep if they're not sure of what the engine is. But basically, to expand on the reason I use RPG Maker, it's because I'm not a coder and I want to make a game. I'm a huge storytelling nerd. I love fantasy and lore, and I'm excited to make my own world with you guys, full of cool, charming, and some annoying characters maybe, but we'll see. Most of them will be charming. We'll try our best. I think we've got some good ones so far. Wait, it uses JavaScript for once? That's so cool. It's my primary programming language. Oh, is it? That's awesome. Yeah, I believe it's only the recent one that's been JavaScript. I think it was Ruby before then for the old RPG makers. So yeah, that means you could totally kick butt at that and make some awesome stuff, because it's got RPG Maker does have a really good, awesome community of people who like make plugins and things, and honestly there's a lot you can do to make the game, you know, better than what you're given. You can definitely create something pretty cool if you explore all the plugins that are available. Hello, hi S4, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I remember dropping Ruby because it was truly a pain to write. Oh really? Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I can't remember what RPG Maker it was now, but it was one that used Ruby, and I got really confused as well. I was about 13 at the time. Hi Neffel, how are you doing? It's good to see you. How are you doing, Neffel? And Neffel, I'm going to be working on your pig mask over the weekend. I'm purposely putting a lot of time into it because I'm going to be creating, it's basically going to be an original character. Yours is Neffel, which, you know, is actually rare in our game because I don't do most of the art. Most of the characters that we have in Raindrop Chronicles are from the generator. Some of them are more heavily edited than others though, because if we want to make them truly, if they've got some unique features about them, then we have to like add stuff and give them edits. But you know, it's truly to just ease the burden of all the workload with the project, because you know there's so much to do in a game, and it truly lets me focus on other aspects of the game, like the storytelling and the design and just building the thing. But for Neffle's character, I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it could turn out to be a really cool, interesting antagonist. I love pigs as well, so that helps. So I'm for that reason I'm taking a little bit longer at getting Neffle's done because of how unique it is. But we're going to be finalising these character sheets, I'd say, on Monday's stream, and we'll see Neffle's then. So I'll probably send you a DM, Neffle, at some point before then, asking how do you like how it looks and all that kind of stuff. So we should get through all the other ones today. So we've got Photoshop up here for Dave as well. We're on Masked Emerald now, and I've got a new way of doing the character sheet templates that's far more effective than before, far easier. So let's hope we get a few done. Oh, okay, nice. Thank you, Miss Anna. I'm excited too. I really, really like your cat. I put it this way, I wouldn't go out my way to do an original character of someone unless I knew that had like tons of potential. For sure, so it's going to be cool. I'm excited to make it. Okay, guys, so, and I'm going to just mention again, because if you've been around in the streams for a while, you probably don't know that it takes 500 raindrops to be a character in the game. That's the current requirement. I have, over the last couple of streams, been discussing how it will get raised eventually. I will definitely give you guys a date for when it will be raised, just so it takes nobody by surprise. But ultimately, it will be frustrating for those of you that are not quite there and were close, but you know, didn't quite reach the 500 in time to have to, like, you know, wait to get 1,000. But honestly, in true honesty, I think it'll pay off, because it'll feel more special when you finally do have a character in the game that way, and you know, we won't like be overloaded with new character submissions constantly, you know, because we will, like this time next year, if I don't change it, I'm pretty confident we would end up with over 100 characters, probably more, maybe even 200 characters. It all depends, like, because surprisingly, we do get quite a lot of folk who reach the 500 raindrops quite fast here, and it soon builds up. So, and this is a very long-term project. It's gonna go on for years, these streams and this community project is. So, you know, we kind of do, for these reasons, I think it's sensible and very wise for me to raise the limit, and it's definitely not impossible. I'm not going to make it impossible. I think 1,000's probably fair. And if you guys are excited enough, you'll be certain to get that anyway. So, CV, how are you doing, CV? It's good to see you. Yeah. So the main thing is there's no rush. Like, when it comes to getting your character in the game, there's no rush ultimately, because a lot of these that we have here on this list, this ever-growing list we're gonna have community characters, a lot of them aren't even gonna be seen or introduced to the game in this current episode anyway. And so, you know, there's absolutely like nothing to think, oh, I've got to hurry up and get my character. It's a long, enjoyable, long-term thing here, so it's not going to be over, you know, a couple of months or even a year. Other than being active in chat, how can you get raindrops? Good question. Literally just lurking, and you don't even have to really chat. You can just lurk and you'll get raindrops. You do get double if you are a sub to the stream, so that's one thing. But it literally is just lurking. And I will just say that there have been a couple of people here that have tried to bend the rules a bit by putting themselves on a bot to get raindrops when they're not actually really lurking in the stream. There is a way to actually do that on Twitch, and I'm pretty knowledgeable about it all, so you can't trick me, guys. So for those that are doing that, because I know who it is, so I'm not dumb, they will obviously not be included if they're using a bot, because people have been working really hard to lurk and be fair and supportive. So it's not fair on those people either if people are cheating. And I just want those of you guys who have earned your character in the game to feel special. And the more characters we get, if we have hundreds over time, not by next year, we have hundreds, you're gonna think, oh, my character's just one in many and they don't really stand out. So I feel raising the raindrop requirement will truly like just help us, but we won't get overwhelmed, because it's going to be hard to keep up quality if we have too many characters. So, yeah, I'm trying to make the smartest decision. But I want to be fair to you guys, of course, and I want to give you a warning. So I'll probably put an announcement in the Discord on Monday and give you a date. I'll probably put in a date for when the raised raindrops will be implemented. So from that point, if you've got the 500 raindrops, you'd have to wait until you get the 1,000. Those of you that already have 500 now, or get 500 before the deadline, as long as you've filled in your character form before the deadline of the new raised raindrops, you'll be fine. Your character will count and be included. But it's only going to be double what it was before, so I don't think it's anything that's too big a deal. You just have to wait a little bit longer, just a little bit more lurking, a few more weeks of lurking is all. Yay, hype indeed. Okay, so let's get cracking. Got Master Emeralds, should be here somewhere. Let's get it up. We started her on Wednesday stream. And I think, because I'm trying to get them slowly posted on Twitter, I don't want to spam people's feeds with all of these sheets all at once. So I'll be putting maybe 2 a day on. That will probably be fair, 1 or 2 a day. I put Fantasias on last night, I put Divers on early this afternoon. And so Master Emeralds will probably go on tonight. I'd say we'll put Master Emeralds on tonight and then another one tomorrow morning, because we don't want to spam. We don't want to be spammers, do we? Right, so here we are. She is a chronomancer, guys. I bet nobody knows what a chronomancer is. Time magic. I think that's pretty badass. And so Emeralise is a playable character because she is she has a class. Not every character, you don't have to be a playable character. You can be an NPC if you prefer that. Some people prefer to be NPCs because with NPCs you get to, there's a bit more flexibility there with who you can create. You're not limited to just being a hero. So we've got the playable character banner up here for Emeralise. But yes, playable characters, just to make it clear in case anyone doesn't know, they're the ones that will be with you in battle, like when you play. When you enter a battle with an enemy that's in turn-based combat, and you know how you get all your little guys in a row and you give orders to fight. I'm sure everybody knows this who's played a JRPG. Well, those playable characters are the guys that will be in the fights with you. So of course they'll all have their own job class, that's unique to them. So Emeralise is a chronomancer. That will be her job and nobody else's. So that's unique for her. So the playable characters form on the website does have a list of all the classes you can pick from, because there's still absolutely loads. Because jobs and classes in RPGs, you could literally go on forever, couldn't you, of how many there are. So there's probably some I've missed off the list, in all honesty, and if there's ever any jobs that you guys think of that I've not got on that list, feel free to let me know and I'll add them, especially if you want to be one that I haven't put on the list. But there's been several that have already been taken from people who have filled in the character forms already and are a character. But yes, over time they will slowly get taken. But that's another reason I want to raise the raindrop limit, because they won't be gone too fast then. Hi Resident Evil, how you doing? Welcome to stream. Aggro, how are the character sheets going? Not too bad, Aggro. I've been a little bit slow because yesterday wasn't my most productive day because I was a bit unwell, a bit under the weather. But I think we're doing quite good, and I'm confident we can get them over and completed on Monday's stream. And then the rest of the week we're going to move on to battle stuff. The dialogue and scene stuff, which I've got here, that's something I'm kind of working on off stream at the moment. I should simply be a lemon, it would be funny. I know, I mean, you guys, everybody, probably some of you might want to be something that's not one of the 8 classes, but I've kind of restricted you guys to being at least a humanoid or person. I bet a lot of you wanted to be barrels. I bet you did. I had someone come in once saying, why can't I be a barrel? And I thought, well, you can't be. Because the barrels that we've got in the game, right, they're like they're special. Not saying that someone's character isn't special. Of course they are. Just that they're written for the plot. They're like very plot-based characters. So yeah, it's kind of like something I want to make a bit clearer on the website as well, that there's 2 types of characters in the game. Like, obviously we've got the community characters, and we've also got the non-community characters like Carol the Barrel, Hank, Oliver, Fiona Bookington. They're non-community characters because nobody made them. No community member made them. We all like sort of got together and brainstormed them. They were created by everybody as a whole. And yeah, there will of course be many characters that we make ourselves in chat, because sometimes you have to invent NPCs yourself. It'd be pretty difficult if we only had community characters in the game. I really like the project. Thank you, Resident. I appreciate that. Are you feeling better? No, I am. I'm much better. It was just one of those offish 24-hour things. I had like really achy bones. But it disappeared overnight when I woke up. So it's all good. Anyway, so let's get on with Master Emerald, shall we? Okay, so Emily's female elf, and she is a chronomancer, and her goal is to solve an ancient mystery. And there's like a list of a ton of goals for anybody that's an ally. There's like dozens, I believe. But as for Emeralise, it's hard to imagine right now when she'll be in the game. Time Mage is a job I don't imagine entering a game in early game, just because it's so cool and badass. But you never know. It's honestly whenever there's a place for them. Because in the next main quest, when we start the next part of the story and the next quest, I want to consider adding a new community character into the game and slotting them in, because we've only got Rose so far. Rose, my character, is the only community character that's actually currently in the game. So it'd be nice to have another one or two, I'd say. But it depends who fits the whole Everbloom Forest lore best, really. So it doesn't feel too out of place. Okay, so to solve nature missing, now we need a sprite, because we've still got Davis there. And I figure at some point there will be a ruin and she'll be there poking around. Ooh. Yeah, that's a possibility. And I'm going to say what you said, Master Emerald, because, you know, this will be useful for me to get ideas of when she can be introduced. Resident Evil, thank you so much for that sub. That's very kind. I appreciate the support. Can we have some hype in chat? Everybody, for that very generous sub from Resident. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks a bit for stopping by and for supporting the project. So we line her up, make sure she's in the place, because I'm a fuss pot. I would literally start over if this got posted on Twitter and it was all wrong, not aligned properly. There was a little mistake on Fantasia's character sheet, actually, I'll admit it, and I'd already posted it on Twitter and it already had likes by that point, so I was like, oh, okay. But it's a really small mistake, and I don't know if you guys would notice it if you look, to be honest. It's pretty tiny, but I did correct it, and the corrected version is on the Discord instead. But it's so small and it's a visual sort of thing, so. But usually I like delete and do it again, because I'm a fuss pot. Okay, I think that's all in line, so yeah, get rid of Dava. Yay, thank you for the hype, guys. Thank you for that hype, for that sub. Always like to see the hype when someone's done something awesome and kind in stream. We delete that. Still got the others here. I'll delete their layers, because I'm saving everybody's character sheets on a separate PSD file anyway. Okay, so I've just realised something as well. Emerald doesn't have a bio, so I know that there's a few characters who are the same as that don't have bios, so I'm going to get one of theirs up as a reference. Finchfish is one. She's also a playable character. I don't know why this is a bit transparent, but yeah, she's also a playable character. She's a herbalist, so that's also a really cool, unique kind of job. But yeah, she doesn't have a bio, so I'm gonna just get the measurements. 60, about 60 pixels. So we just shorten it a bit, bring it up. And this will be easier the more PSD files we end up getting, because then we can, instead of spending all the time getting all the positioning sorted out, we'll just literally use a PSD. Like, for example, if there's ever another character that doesn't have a bio, we'll literally just use M releases as a template for that person, because then it'll save us me having to do all this again. Resident Evil Nikki is my wife. Oh, really? You guys are husband and wife? I didn't even know. I had no idea. Is this true? Because if it is, that's awesome. Thank you, National Mars, for the follow. But also, yeah, so at some point there'll be a run and she'll be poking around. I save that on my notepad file at Master Emerald, and I think that's very, it's kind of nice to know when you guys imagine them appearing in the story. And I don't have, like, that as a question on the character form, simply because I kind of want to keep that flexibility open for me and you guys with the characters for when they can get introduced. So I never added it as a question, but it's still nice at the same time to have an idea of where you could imagine them being and stopping by. Also, this was the glitch. It was the frame. It was the ribbon part of the frame, guys, that was the glitch on Fantasia's character sheet. So I'm going to fix it on Master Emeralds as well. There we go. So that's all fine. Okay, so that's fine. Now we're just going to bring up the goal and the sprite and this border part and the personality parts as well. In fact, we should probably bring it all up, just take the lot of it up. I'm not sure what layer 9 is, can delete that I think. Yes, it's true. Well, we aren't actually married, but I consider her my wife. We've been together for over 6 years now. That's absolutely lovely. Yeah, that's so nice. And now it was me thinking Resident Evil Nikki was somebody that just happened across my stream, but you probably introduced her. That's awesome. That's super sweet. Thank you so much for your support, you two. I appreciate that. Yay. So is there an idea for the story, or isn't it an open book so far? It's kind of a bit of both, Yorkshire. I'll expand on that in a sec actually, because it's a really good question. Chub Cheeks, how are you doing, Chub? It's good to see you. And thanks Aggro for being super welcoming as well to peeps in stream. I kind of have been thinking about this, and how much I'd love to have like a super friendly and welcoming community. That's kind of my dream. I think it's any streamer's dream, if all honesty. So when I see you guys like say hi to people who've come in, it warms my heart. So I don't think anybody has to be a mod to do that. Like nobody's obligated to do it. But just if anyone's ever like here in chat and someone comes in, it's always nice, isn't it, to say hello. So how are you doing, Chub? And as for Yorkshire Pudding's question, it's a bit of both. It's kind of very open, and a lot of things aren't decided because I think keeping it open helps us get creative. It doesn't limit us. We can like consider multiple different ways to take an arc, for example, without feeling limited to an outcome. And I always we haven't done polls for a few weeks. It's been a while since we've had a Discord poll put up, but if you've been on the website on on desktop version, not on mobile, you'll see that there's a poll section in the navigation. There isn't any navigation on the mobile currently on the website, because I need to optimize it for mobile, but it's there on PCs and stuffs, and you'll see that we've done polls in the past where we kind of literally ask anything. The polls can be about anything. It can be like, what could this character's name be? What could this character do? What happens to this character? And it's not even just about characters. It could literally be anything concerning the plot, the world, the dialogue, scenes, battles even. Just whenever there's a chance to like give you guys a choice on how something can turn out, I like to get a poll up. So for that reason, I just think it's more fun, and it lets us all come up with potential possible ideas for the outcome. But at the same time, we do have a sort of overarching plot going on that's slowly forming. It's still very early days because we're only on main quest 2 at the moment, which you guys will find out more about what happens in that main quest when I release the next story so far video. The only one that's up so far is the first quest. Everything that's in that YouTube video there is literally main quest 1. So I'm kind of going to keep it organised like that. Every single new story so far video I release will kind of represent each quest. So the next one will be all main quest 2, the next one will be main quest 3, the next one main quest 4. And I think I like that sort of method of doing things because you guys can be caught up on things quite quickly. If I keep them short, like 2 minutes long, then it'll only it doesn't take long to get caught up then. Yeah, he talked me into checking it out, yay! And guess what, Rose? Yeah, what's happened, Chub? Tell me. Sounds great, yay. The way I do storytelling is I have like a sort of core thread that I want to tell with certain themes, settings and events and whatnot, and then I step back and try to build a world that makes sense around it. Then when I want to develop some sub-story or character, I draw from that world to find something that makes sense. That's pretty insightful, Strive. Thanks for sharing. Sort of like after a certain point I'm the steward of the story rather than imposing my will onto it. Because I find that really helpful, I'm going to copy and paste that as well. I often do that. Whenever someone says something in chat that is like a really interesting potential idea for the game, or someone's arc or anything at all related to the game, I tend to copy and paste it like I did for what Master Emerald said about her character, and I also copy and paste things like that too, so I can read them properly off stream and like get a sort of idea from it myself. But yes, I think it's pretty important to have that core theme, like all themes, and that overarching plot, because if you don't have that, things could just be a chaotic, random, convoluted mess. And that's one thing I want to avoid with this game and story. So for that reason, we are going to have that overarching plot. But at the same time, I want to keep things open about how it'll all turn out and what will happen what will happen during the adventure. That'll be like basically the what and what's going on will kind of be already there, but the stuff that like fills in the gaps and how we get there will all be decided and improvised over time. That's kind of how I'm seeing how it would work best to do it and approach it. Oh, thanks, that's sweet of you, you're welcome. And I guess that Chub Cheeks has got a pet hamster. He's got a new hamster. Am I right, Chub? That was just a total random guess. So probably completely off, but that was the first thing I thought of. Cogwheel below chat should be an identity section. What? Cogwheel below chat, an identity section? I have no idea what this is. I see nothing unless my Slobs hasn't updated yet. Cool, thanks. Speaking of badges, how do I get the Vivi badge to show? Oh, duh. Now I feel silly. That's what Chubb was replying to. I completely missed Argo's question. Agro's question. Oh my god. Oh, this is me. Like, this is me at my finest. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm so silly and I'm gonna be blushing in a minute. Yeah, I got one in Animal Crossing, but that's not what I wanted to guess. LOL. Derpy twins say, yeah, you got me. You got me, Chubb. But anyway, thanks, Chubb, for helping out grow. I was like, what's Chubb mean? All makes sense now. But yeah, you got the Vivi badge. That's so cool. Yeah, I those badges are there for those of you that have been like super generous enough to donate like bits, and so you definitely should show them off. Okay, I will tell you, yesterday I leveled up. You mean it was your birthday? It was your birthday, Chubb? Oh my goodness, is it? Because we're going to have to give Chubb Cheek some birthday wishes if it was. We can't be not have it saying a happy birthday. How bad would that be? It was. Okay. Have we got birthday emojis, chat? I don't know if we have. Oh. I actually had that emote too, Chubb, funnily enough. So let's give Chubb some birthday hype. Got chat. Did you do anything nice? Did you do anything awesome or special? Did you get any nice presents? I mean, we can't do much at the moment, but you're like me, aren't you? You're a hermit. So okay, so what were we doing? Thank you, the birthday love national. Yay. Okay. My mum got me 2 books that I already owned. Ah, you already owned them? Did you pretend to her that you didn't have them? Okay, so my layers aren't the most organised at the moment, so it's taking a bit of time to work out what's what. But I think this is... There we go. So I'm just going to bring them up. Oh, we forgot the sprite. And the border. So we'll bring them back down. There we go. That should be it. I forgot the border again, but we'll get it there. We'll just bring it up after. There we go. I think that's correct. Happy belated level up birthday, Chubb Cheeks, yay! You don't have to give away cuppies if you want a friend to read them, which I ended up doing. Well, maybe the cover's nicer on the new books, because sometimes... I know I was after, like, the last 5 books in the Dark Tower series, and it's unfortunate because the covers I've got... I've had them for years, the first 4 books, like over a decade, and they don't do that edition anymore. So unfortunately, if I want to get the last 3 books, they'd have to have a completely different cover, and I don't like that. I want them all to look the same. There There we go. So I think I've got it so that that border is like literally, so it looks like the sprite standing on them. Cool. Okay, so now it's just about filling in her personality. So we'll fill in her personality and questions, and then it's done. And we've got a bit of extra space here, but we'll keep that just in case we need it, and we'll crop it at the end. Okay, so she's curious. Have we got any curious? I'm curious. I'm curious that we got any curious characters. Other curious characters now. I feel like it's one that hasn't been used much, that we don't have much of. Optimistic, deceitful. Ooh. You know, that's quite interesting. A deceitful hero. Because I like when things aren't always black and white, you know, and to have like someone in our party fighting with us who's actually got a deceitful side is quite interesting. And I think we might have another couple, maybe another one that's a deceitful playable character as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we might. Also, I've also got insomnia. I've only slept for about 2 hours in the past 48 hours. Oh my goodness, how would you not like half asleep? But then again, I've not struggled with insomnia, so I wouldn't know. Although I am a bit of a night owl. I think it's more that I choose to stay up rather than I struggle to go to sleep. But oh my goodness, Chubb, I hope that gets sorted soon, because that doesn't sound that sounds pretty bad. 2 hours in the last 48 hours. One of the books she got me was a book she got me 5 months ago. Really? She must have forgot then. She must have forgot she got that one. Oh, I'm so tired, but when I lie down to sleep, I just stay awake. Oh, no. Have you got anything to occupy yourself with? Could listen to some music, or, well, could read that book again. Spontaneous is this one. Always a word I've always never really known if that's spelled right, but I believe it is. Cautious, open-minded. Talkative and rebellious. Awesome. So there's a few of them that are the opposite of, was it Dave as that one that we used as, yeah, it was. So let me just double check, make sure that we've got the right ones in. Curious, optimistic, deceitful, spontaneous, cautious, open-minded, talkative, and traditional. Oh. Why is that there? Must have forgotten to change it. There we go. That's why it's always a good job to proofread. Because otherwise we'd have had the wrong one in. Okay, so that's all good. So, what's the question that we've got now? Let's So the faction question, I don't think that's one we have for playable characters, because that's something that's really just relevant to the more major NPC types. Because obviously, you know, if they're in our party, then they're not going to be in some other faction. Maybe they would, but they're with us. Maybe they used to be part of a faction, and that's fine if that's our backstory. Keyboard ASMR. Don't know what the margins have. Just check. Okay, so what is your biggest flaw? I ask the flaw and fear question and the secret question for everybody, I think. Or I might not ask it for minor NPCs, because minor NPCs don't have to be quite as developed as major NPCs and playable characters, but that doesn't mean they're just blank slates. I still want the minor NPCs to be really, you know, have something about them. They don't need to be quite as fleshed out with their backstory, but they're still important. I'm enjoying the music mixed with the keyboard ASMR. Good. That's good. Oh, that's not a command. I'm entering that mode. Oh, maybe it should be a command. Maybe it should be. Maybe we should get it as one. This is quite a bio you making. Yeah, they're all like this, Yorkshire. Well, it all depends. Like some people add more than others, and it's totally your choice. How sort of how much you want in your character sheet. You only have to put a sentence if you want, or you could write a paragraph if you'd like as well. But of course, if it's like going to be like a full-on novel, it's better to have a Google Doc. I mean, you guys can look in the Discord at the characters in this part of the Discord if you're curious at how much people tend to put in their character sheets. It's different for everyone. People like Elite and Kindle Trash have got longer character sheets. And then some people have got not as much, which is also exciting because it gives us room to potentially develop them ourselves. Okay, so now we're going to get Master Emerald info in, and I think her character sheet's going to be a little bit shorter than David's. So, easily distracted is your biggest flaw. I wonder what she's easily distracted by, if there's anything in particular that distracts her, or if it's overall that is just her quirk. The unknown is her biggest fear. The unknown is quite scary, I agree. And deepest, darkest secret, if you have one, is her book collection is mostly on return library books. Okay, so we're going to change it to first person. I like that. It's kind of it's a small little detail about the character, but it could have like a deep backstory, you know, because it just, you could like analyze that sentence and think, why are they unreturned? And what books are they from the library? All these mysteries and questions. Should library be a capital L, do you think? Maybe. There we go. But that's interesting as well, because it's kind of cemented the idea of a library being in this world, because, you know, we're creating a world from scratch here. So every time you guys write something on the character sheet, however little it is, however small it is, you're introducing that element into our world. And that is kind of like, yeah, libraries do exist in this world, you know, somewhere in some city or town there's libraries, because you never know, like this world could maybe never have had libraries or never heard of them. But it's interesting, like just reading through the character sheets, there's some of them are pretty lore detailed. Some of you guys have really introduced the lore, and others have kept things more open. And yeah, it's going to be quite interesting for me to gather all these lore elements and make them work together. I will check it out on the Discord. Thanks. Yeah. Yes, we do have, like, just to mention the Discord again, folks, just to give you a bit of info. We have a Raindrop Chronicles section here. We're gonna have like this pinned these pinned threads in this one of all the character sheets. I'm going to put all the polls up in here as well, because although they're on the website, if you are on mobile, you won't be able to see those on the website, so it's useful to have them here too. We have general ideas discussion, skill discussion, dialogue discussion, scene discussion, and a poll section. And of course, we've got general chat and introduce yourself, and anytime there is anything important to announce it, like if there ever is like a cancelled stream or something like that, it will go in important news as well. And we just have loads of other subsections too. So that is where we hang out. Hi Rose, how are you this fine day? Hi Clem, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for stopping by. I'm doing decently, not too bad. It's going by. It's really going by quickly. Yeah. And Argo, you are getting double because you subscribe. So they do go a little bit faster for anybody that is a sub. Raindrops. Yay. Okay. So thank you, Yorkshire, for joining the Discord. Right, guys, so I think if we filled in all the masked emeralds, I think that might be it. Masked emeralds kept things very open-ended here, and it's interesting because there is a lot of potential for sure for development. And if she did wish to expand on any of this, she's totally welcome to, and write a Google Doc or something. But at the same time, if she wishes, lets us have control and make the decisions, that's cool too. I like to give you guys the choice. Okay, so that can be, these can go. I'm going to just hide them, just in case we need them when we do someone else's template. It's easy enough to copy and paste these because it's all the same. Right, so now we've got to crop the character sheet. So and Masked Emeralds is basically done once I've cropped this, and I'm going to post Masked Emeralds on Twitter this evening, because Dave has got posted just a couple of hours ago and I want to spread them out. So if you're following on Twitter, you'll see it. Awesome. So I'm going to just quickly check for typos. Master Emerald and Release, Elf Chronomancer, Solve an Ancient Mystery. I don't think there's any typos there. Easily Distracted, The Unknown. My book collection is mostly unreturned library books. Yeah, I think that's all good. So I'm going to save that. And save it as a PNG as well. And we're going to move on to the next character now. Huzzah! PogChamp! Okay guys, so let's have a peek at our Trello page. We've got to give Master Emerald a tick now. Look at all these crosses we've got to get rid of. Slowly but surely. So, tick for catches, so just got to post it on the Twitter and Discord, which we will do later. And we got White and Glacian and Zexion. I'd really like to get those 3 done today. They're character sheets too. Maybe even Storm Eagles if we have a productive one, we'll see. And then we'll just have these 4 as well. And Neffels is still in the process of being done. And that's so because we've still got a few more to do. We're probably still gonna have another character sheet stream on Monday to get them finished, because I'm not gonna do those over the weekend. Because there's other stuff to do over the weekend, like the dialogue and scene stuff to work on, as well as finishing Neffels' Pig Mask. So we'll use Monday's stream to do the finalising, and then we can move on to something else. Back to the game development after that. Elf Chronomancer complete, huzzah! You have so many characters, your game is going to be huge. I know, Yorkshire, which is ultimately, which I talked about a bit earlier at the start of the stream, we're going to raise the raindrop limit, and I'm going to give a date probably on Monday. So it'll give people a bit of time to lurk in streams if they do wish to get in before the deadline shut. I'll tell you, it's very possible if you are a subscriber to get 500 raindrops in about 3 weeks, I think, because that's what Elite managed to do, but he lurked all the time to do that. Some of you, if you do happen to be like really desperate to get your character done before the deadline, then that's probably the thing to do, but some of you might not mind waiting, which, you know, it's no rush, guys. I'll stress that it's absolutely, you don't have to get your character sheet submitted in the next month. You could 6 months, a year, your character will still be in the game. But it's just gonna keep things under control. We're not gonna have character overload, because what we got to be careful of is that this time next year, or even 2 years or 3 years, because this is a long-term project, that we don't end up having a list that's like, whoa, we can't even take in all these characters anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to get like that. I want every character to be good quality and to not be forgotten among the crowds. So, of course, that'll, even for you guys that have got a character, it'll make it even more special, because your character won't be just one of a gazillion characters then. So it'll just probably be the best thing, I think. Will this be a single player game? It will be, Jimmy. It's your typical single player RPG. I say typical, but in all honesty, I'm going to try and make it have some appealing, unique features. I kind of really want to go all out on the whole choice and consequence thing and the romance system. But I don't think the romance system's going to be a thing until I don't think romance system will be in place until episode 2. 2 or 3 maybe. I can't see it being introduced too early because we wouldn't have met enough people that would be romanceable options. But everything will be happening behind the scenes from the beginning. There's potential points you can be racking up, romance points with Carol the Barrel, quite from the very start. That'll all be happening in the background. So when the romance system finally does unlock, those points that you'd have gained behind the scenes during dialogues and that will count, even though it won't be properly shown off until a later episode. The Pigmess Oop typo dick. Could the story use Hogmas? What's Hogmas? I'm a massive noob. I just want to be able to use my weapon before it's taken. Yes, I think for you guys that are playable characters, well, those of you that want to be playable characters, it's probably a bit more like of a worry because there's a chance your class might get taken by someone else. So I think what we could do to combat that fear of losing the class you like most, send me a DM of who the job you like, the one you've got your eye on, and what I'll do, I would say I'll remove it from the form until you're ready to fill it in, and then I'll put it back, because that way no one can take it until you're ready to fill it in. And because I'm perfectly willing to do that. If someone here has got their eye on a class and they're like, oh, I really hope it doesn't get taken, I'll be happy to reserve it for them, because I've done that for Try. Someone called Try comes in and he has his eye on a class as well, and I don't even think his is actually on the form at the moment. I'll be adding it for him when he wants to fill it in. So yeah, just send me a DM if you are in the position of wanting to be a playable character but you're worried about someone taking the class before you, because I think that's the only situation where someone would want to get the 500 raindrops super fast, because they'd want to make sure they've got that playable character before it gets taken. Can a character called Roland that gets eaten by can I be a character called Roland that gets eaten by a monster? If you get the raindrops, then you can totally be. You are allowed to choose their story and their backstory and who they are. You have the freedom there. I want to reserve the hamster Mancy class for my character. I'm not going to lie, Chub, that is creative. And who knows, you are an antagonist, but I'm opening up the idea for some antagonists, of course not all, because some will always be bad. And some just won't get the chance to be an optional playable character or what. But if any antagonists were to have a redemption arc, or even if the choices you made in the game were lined up with the antagonist's values, then maybe they'd make friends with you and consider being a playable character for you in the game. I mean, that's going to happen with Rex's character. He's an antagonist at the start, but he may develop into a playable character if the choices you make in the game align with his values. It's not so much that the antagonist has a redemption arc. I mean, they might in some situations, but it's all about really whether you, as the hero, it would be someone they'd consider fighting for, like your values of the line, because you're going to shape your hero in this game. There's traits, there's compassion, bravery and wisdom, and you can either have tons of that or none of that, or minus points of that, so there's going to be several ways that character can be molded, and the NPCs and people you meet will kind of treat you differently based on that, the way how you become. And I like that. LOL. Just because I'm the bad guy doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. Exactly. And I'm a big fan of antagonists that aren't actually bad. You know, every villain is a hero in their own story. And of course, some may have done questionable things. But in all honesty, an antagonist is just somebody whose values don't align with the heroes. They're doing different things and there's a clash with what they're doing. It doesn't always mean that the antagonist is bad. In some cases, yes, they're doing some bad, wrong, morally wrong things, and that's why the heroes don't agree with them. But in other cases, you know, their vision, their goal just clashes with the hero. So yeah, there's all sorts of possibilities, Chubb, and I wouldn't be against that, you know, as long as it was possible in RPG Maker to do a sort of summoner. Well, there is a summoner thing that we can do. I mean, Glacian's character's a dragon tamer, so he summons dragons, so it wouldn't be impossible for you to be a summoner of a hamster, you know, or something like that. There's always a way to just adjust things a touch. DM you on Discord. Yeah, on Discord. Discord is probably the easiest, although Twitter's also an option, but Discord is probably the easiest one. I mean, you can always say in chat, but, you know, if you want to keep it private, of course, what you want to be, then that it's fine to send a message. It's all up to you. I am bad and that's good. I will never be good and that's not bad. There's someone I would rather be than me. Yeah. Okay, so we're on Whitewat now. So we're going to have a look at Whitewat's character. Whitewat's a playable character too. And this one is an interesting one, guys, because it's very deep with lore. This is one of the characters that has got some lore involved, and his class is actually a subclass where he's halfway between a human and a wolf. I guess you could call it a werewolf. I guess it's this game's version of a werewolf. So this is we're introducing a subclass now. There's not just humans and full-on canines. There's also an in-between where humans can become canines, you know. But yeah, I'd see it as a subclass of canine, and I think that's what has said here as well in his bio. So when we fill that in and it gets put up on the Discord and Twitter, you'll be able to read more about this and exactly what this character is all about. But you never know, like, just these dozen characters here that we've got and their stories and their lore could help inspire other people for their future characters too, because it's really cool when you guys do that. I mean, Legmog did it with my character. Legmog actually purposely inserted his character in the game to fit with Rose's character arc, and that I thought was really clever. So it's also really cool if you guys read other people's character sheets and kind of slot yours in to fit with their lore as well. And of course, you're totally free to do what you want with your character. If you want to create a whole new thing with your character, that's fine too. But for those of you that might be a bit stuck with ideas, then it can be helpful to like read what's already here for some ideas. Like a half-breed. Holy moly, yeah. So we've got, I'm going to get up his assets now so you guys can see. We've got a human version of him and we've got a wolf version of him. So he is actually a human. Like, that is what he is. That's his default. So when we put him into stream avatars, we've actually got his human like version in here. So that is his default, what we'll have on the character sheet. But he does turn into a wolf, and there's a story behind that and there's lore behind it. So I think it's really interesting. I approved of it because I thought, okay, so it doesn't kind of sit rigidly with you being one of the 8 classes, because you've kind of gone in a halfway sort of. It's a subclass, but I really like the idea of subclasses coming in, because it just makes the world more interesting and less like tight, like less rigid and structured. And as I've said many times, I can be a big nerd when it comes to factions and sub races and all that kind of thing. That's why I get excited about the idea of vampire kitties and vampire reptiles and all that. If they can turn into vampires too, like Rose was, it's still, the vampire lore is still very much open with how we're going to shape it, but there's a lot of possibilities. Right, so we'll get a sheet up first as a template, but we'll get the assets up in a bit. Right, so I've got to just check how much information is here, because we probably won't use Master Emeralds as a template, maybe use Dave's actually. Let's have a look at the bio first. Okay, their bio's pretty long, but their other information, a lot of it isn't too long. So yeah, we'll use Dave's as a template, but we'll have to make this bit bigger because there's quite a bit of stuff. And as I said, it's totally fine to like write a paragraph of this length for the bio, where you tell us more about your goal. But you know, if it is going to be like this, where you've got paragraphs and paragraphs, I'd recommend doing a Google Doc. I'm thirsty. It's quite humid today. Okay, so okie doke, let's get this PSD renamed because we don't want to accidentally save over Dave's. Okay, so let's fill it in. His name is John. I like it. You know, I actually kind of weirdly like how there's a very normal name as well. Let's hide Dave as assets so people don't get confused and think we're doing Dave. Okay, so this game is certainly a kitchen sink, which if you guys don't know, it's a trope that basically means that it's a fantasy world with like everything in it, everything. It is definitely going to be a kitchen sink because it's a community game and everybody's got lots of different ideas for what they want, but I think that's fun. We've got a fantastical adventure going here. Hydration is important. Do you like this one, guys? It's got little donuts on it. It's cute, isn't it? That often, 2 times a week. I used to never drink water when I was younger. I feel like, wow, how unhealthy was I? All I had was soda. And now I'm the opposite. I never drink soda. If I drink drink a soda once in a year, that's a lot for me now. Whereas when I was a kid, I had it every day. I was addicted to the sugar. I never drink water, never ever. Don't you, Moon? Don't you? What do you drink? Because you don't like coffee, do you, or tea either? Moon must have like this special drink because he doesn't drink normal drinks. I want to know what that is. Matt, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so he is... Okay, this is an interesting one here because White What on the form has said he's a canine. And he's a human as well. So we got to think here. I'm going to just have a look at the lore he's filled in because he has... Okay, I was born and raised to slay the canines, or as the old seer, all for the local shaman calls us. Shaman or shaman. I've always thought it's shaman, isn't it? But I get confused with pronunciations of it. Okay, Wolverkin. Okay. Right, guys. So I like that name, and he's decided it for us. I mean, sometimes we're going to just, when it comes to names and names of lore and things like that, will almost always default. But in regards to your character form and Sheathan, you are allowed to sort of come up with the names of things and what they are. And of course, if there ever is like a weird clash in the future, like someone else has a werewolf race and fills in a form and calls themselves something else, we'll have to call it what it's already been, you know, what we know it's called. So otherwise it wouldn't make sense. But yes. Coffee. Hi Thren, how are you doing? Your name shows up as dark blue on my chat, and I have the dark mode on. So I had to look super closely then to see what your name was. But I got it. Hi Car, how are you doing? Carmelian. I like that way of spelling that. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. Okay, so this one, because he's a sub race. He is not a canine nor a human. He's a Wolverkin. And he's a druid, guys. Shocking news has been announced. We now have a druid in the game. So, yes, he's a playable character and he's a druid. And I can't believe this, but I never originally had druid on my list of classes. And then when what mentioned to me what about druid, I was like, wow, how could I forget druid? So I let him have that one for his. I reserved it for him. So same goes to you, Aggro, or anybody else if you want to be a playable character and you've got a class in mind, especially one that's on the list that you're frightened of being taken. Then you literally just have to let me know and I'll remove it for you, so no one steals it. But when it comes to you, when you're ready to fill in your form, of course I'll have to put it back on because otherwise it won't be on there for you. I'm excellent, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Welcome to the stream. Because no one likes druids. Wolverkin was the Davikin a big influence coming up with that. Now maybe it was. What's a big lore buff, so I'd say that he definitely had some sort of inspiration for this that he's made. You can tell there's a lot of thought that's gone into it. But for anyone that's popped in here who's new here, guys, I'll give you just a couple of commands because I want to make sure you know what we're doing here and all the stuff that needs to be seen. Literally the website and our YouTube is the thing. YouTube really is pretty much where we post everything because every single stream goes up there and all the little videos related to the game. Okay, so what John Blake, Wolverkin Druid, and of course we're going to replace this with his text. And this is quite a beefy one, a bit of a beefy profile. And I don't like how Photoshop does this with text. So it's very difficult to split into lines. I wonder if there's a setting that I can change, because it's put it all on one line here. And I mean, I could probably do a text box maybe if I made it larger and copied into that, but the problem is I don't know if the positioning and all the kerning and that kind of thing won't be set up properly, I don't think. So it's a little bit of an awkward one. In D&D, druids are OP, yeah. I'm going to have a little look on D&D classes actually now you mention that, Chubb, because I want to make sure that I've got most of the D&D classes on that character sheet form for the choices for people, because I know there's probably a lot that I haven't got on there that could go on there. Awesome, looks like I have a lot of catching up to do. Thanks for the links. Oh, awesome. Well, if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask, because I'm going to get an FAQ page up in the next update, and so any kind of common questions I always like to be asked, because it'll be useful to know what can go on the FAQ page. But welcome, it's awesome to meet new peoples and have them here. I know you've already told me once, but is there a way to see what classes use what weapons? I forgot what you told me. So that's okay, Olga. We're keeping that open-ended at the moment. What we'll probably do is when that character gets introduced in the game, we'll discuss it then and be like, right, chat, list all the weapons you think will be cool for this character to potentially use. Like, for example, if they're a pyromancer, we'd be like, okay, we'd list all the potential weapons and things like that, because there might not just be one, there could be a couple of possibilities or a few. So, but some classes, maybe they'll just be one. Like when you think of a knight, which we've already got in the game, it's only going to be a sword and shield, isn't it, for someone like that? It's pretty straightforward what a knight's weapon is going to be. And same for the warrior, we have axe for them. And for the hunter, we have a bow and arrow. But there's some unique, like very quirky classes that you think, well, it's pretty... We could get pretty creative with the weapons here, and in situations like that, we might like just brainstorm and think of what sort of weapons. But if there is a weapon, like if you like think I want this weapon, then that's fine to like for you to decide too, because after all, it is your character. But if you don't know, if you're not sure, then us as the community will decide for you. Okay, so I'm going to just try my best to split this. Okay, here we go. It's pretty challenging to actually split this when everything's all on one line. You can not see what you're doing. I'm doing it. Sort of. It's going to get a bit difficult to see though, because it's going over the blue bit now. Right, we're probably going to have to make it bigger now, because it's going to be almost impossible to know. So... Right, how are we going to do this? What's the best way? We'll just make it bigger from the bottom, enlarge the canvas. But it's useful that we're going to have, like, we'll use Whitewater's character as the future template for anybody who has a very long bio. Because once we've already got the setup going, it'll be a lot easier when we've got the other characters then. But it's harder right now because we don't have the template yet. Okay, did we? Okay, so I did it from the top instead of the bottom because I'm a silly. There we go, that should be enough, I'd say. So I'm gonna copy the background and drag it down. Keep resting with it. It's not too terribly much easier on other programs. Easier, but not. Yeah, nothing's perfect, is it? National, for sure. I think I definitely prefer having this character sheet template in Photoshop to the other program that I used before, because it's definitely much quicker doing it this way. That's for sure. And yeah, it gets a little bit fiddly sometimes, but nothing's perfect. I'm just being a bit careful with the background here because there is a pattern on the background and I want to make sure I don't have it at that point where the pattern goes funny. I'll show you. It's a bit confusing to explain, but here we go. We have like a very subtle pattern, like where we've got pixel dots. And yeah, that's what it does if I'm not careful. It'll like double up like that. So that's why I've like been like, just making sure it hasn't done that. And as we can see, it's fine there. So we'll lock that background now. And I think it's going to be sensible to like just move everything down. Okay, so I missed that stuff, which I could have sworn I did highlight, but must have not. Nah, pretty sure everything's highlighted now. So I'm gonna just move it all there. I think that's gonna be enough. I can't see it being any longer than that. So for now, we'll put it there, and if we have to make it shorter, then we will. But we need all the space we can get right now to make sure we can see the text. It keeps grabbing the text for me. There we go. Okay, so now let's carry on. And yeah, if there is anything that's like lore that's hard to fit in, or something just needs a slight adjustment, because I want to try and stay as loyal as possible to how the person shaped their character. I don't want to go off track if I can help it, but if there's ever a point where we're like, that's going to be a clash, we got to alter that bit because something's already been confirmed in the story, then we'll do that. But if that ever happened, we'd just update the character sheet. It didn't look this long on the Google Forms. I'm going to have to tidy this up because there's letters that aren't even... There we go. I think that's it. Okay, so let's tidy this up now and fit it all on properly. Okay. So I'm going to just have a quick peek at, because I know with a couple of character sheets, elites mainly, I did split it into 2 paragraphs because it got quite lengthy. So we can always do that with this one if necessary. Were there any others that had lengthy ones? I think it was mainly elites, although mine was quite lengthy. Mine only had 1 paragraph, but this one's even longer than mine. So hi Rod, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing okay, Rod. Whose character sheet is that? This is Whitemott's character sheet. He popped in a couple of weeks ago, but he's not been around recently. But that's what happens. People will come and go, and that's totally fine as well. Our job is to make it everything as awesome as possible, so we can knock their socks off and be like, whoa, this game has really come a long way since that I've been back here. That's kind of what I want to do. How are you doing now, Rod? So, don't know if there's a good point to split the paragraph. Let me read through it. I was born and raised a slave. The K9s, or as the old seer, all for the local shaman calls us Wolverkin, had been slaves. Conquering humans of time for many decades because of the great strength in Wolverkin formed gods. Yeah, we've not talked about gods at all in this game yet. That is lore that's really not being talked about, but I say that, but in a cutscene I was doing Carol's flashback, there's a very subtle sort of foreshadowing and discussion about them. although it's very still open-ended at this point, there's a lot of like, there's a lot to still be decided. So it'll be interesting like to bring that discussion in, but it's not going to be something that we talk about until, you know, there's a relevant point in the story that actually brings up such a thing. And then once, if we're ever at a point in a story where gods is it like it's a part of a main quest or a side quest, then we can start thinking about it and like expanding on that lore. I think we can put that bit on that line. Okay, so I kind of thought that some words could fit on certain lines, and it just made it a tiny little bit shorter there and a bit tidier, I think. Yeah, I think that's fine. We don't need to split it into two. I think if there was a point where it felt like, yeah, that part of this needs splitting into two, then I would. But I think only Elite's character sheet really was appropriate for that so far. Just getting ready to work on the Outer Worlds more for a while. Oh, is that game? I heard it was a fun one. Heard that was a fun one, Rod. I thought it said I eventually left my kids, and I'm like, interesting character. Yeah, I eventually left my kin. It is a similar word. It is. So we've got a complete backstory here. Like, he's left his kin and he's travelling the world now and wants a new home. So I'm assuming we're going to come across him, you know, and he's got all this history and this lore, this culture. And when it comes to backstory, I'm not a fan of just unloading random exposition, is it? So I'm not a fan of just unloading all that on the player randomly when they've got no connection and they've got no reason to care about that story at this stage. I like revealing it slowly and, you know, making us care first and discovering their story over time. So that's probably how I'd handle something like this. But who knows, maybe we could come across these Wolverkin and this culture and place before we meet this guy. It could also be the other way around, but who knows. Right, so we got to give him his avatar and put his sprite and stuff in. Also, I think we could make this a little bit smaller as well by about 10 pixels perhaps. So being fun, yeah, I think it's a game I'd enjoy. Just, you know, it's getting around to all these games. So many, but I've seen it and it looks cool. Do a lot of people stay active until they have enough raindrops then disappear? Well, it's kind of just how Twitch is in general. Like, I've always struggled retaining people, in all honesty, and of course I'm always want to make sure I can keep people if I can, but at the same time it's kind of, you can't really expect people to always be here because people have lives. So sometimes people will be active for months. sometimes 6 months or even a year. Like I've had people that came to stream for like a full-on year every single day, every single stream should I say, but then stopped coming because they got a job during the hours of stream, for example, or life just got busy for them, and that happens. So you just do it, don't you? Like I'm not gonna like be like, okay, that's it, your character's not in the game. At the end of the day, the character's there, and the person's a member of the community no matter what. So that's what they'll be. We'll honour them with their character, even if they weren't to come back. But we had like an interesting discussion about banned, if there was ever somebody that got banned that was in the game, like what would we do then, which is interesting. But I think they wouldn't be removed. We wouldn't remove their character even if they got banned. We'd kind of separate their character from them and just appreciate the character, you know, because if they're already in the game, it would just mess it up if we cut anyone out. Haven't gotten too far, so not able to say for sure, so long as it doesn't railroad you into a sad ending. Oh really? Awesome. But yeah, it looks fun, Rod. I hope you enjoy it. Of course not, I was just curious. Yeah, it's yeah, it's just how it is. You can't expect people to always come all the time. I'm kind of laid back about that, because you'd drive yourself a bit crazy if you were like, where is everybody? So I'm just happy for people to come and go as they please, and luckily I really enjoy what I do. Like I've said many of time, like if this was just me, if I was streaming and talking to myself, like literally if no one ever spoke in chat and I was just rambling on, I'd be okay with that, because I get a lot of like enjoyment from doing this. But luckily there's people here, and that just makes it more fun because you're sharing it with others. So of course it just makes it that much better. But it wouldn't be like the end of the world if it was just me, is all I'm saying. Outwards, I was told to game pass that title and go to town on it. It's supposed to be similar to Knights of the Republic. I know it. I know that one. And those titles are great. Yeah, it's the old. It's some of the people from Fallout. Maybe I'm wrong. Was it New Vegas? I might completely be off track there, but that's kind of what I hate those settings, especially the ones that brag about all the decisions in the game. Yeah. May your weekend be enjoyable and pleasant overall. Yeah, yours too, Rod. But yeah, set endings, yeah. I like lots of endings. I'm a fan of lots of endings. Okay, so I think that is right. Okay, so we need to bring all this stuff back up now. Did you ever play Banasol? I did National. I didn't play the second one, but I played the first. I actually played it on my MacBook back in the day before I even had a desktop. It was a good one. It was really hard though. Thank you, Zalster, for the follow. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I enjoy them in the games that don't have a lot of decisions. You can just sit there and enjoy the story, but they're interactive stories, at least like Life is Strange, for example, didn't really feel like that changed the ending. There were really only 2 endings and 1 question decided it. Yeah. When Final Fantasy games, they're just linear and they don't have decisions and there's only 1 ending, yeah, for sure. When it's like that, that's fine. That's to be expected if they're not even that kind of game. But yeah, I think the games like Life is Strange and The Walking Dead and interactive kind of choice games like that, there's kind of more of an illusion of choice with them rather than actual choices. Not to say they're not enjoyable. I did enjoy The Walking Dead, even though it was depressing, but I thought it was well written. But yes, the whole choice thing is definitely, because the fact is, like, you could like a character and think I like that character, and you can make all the right decisions, but even if you did, that person would still die and wouldn't get to the end part of the game because they were always going to die anyway. And that can be a bit frustrating because, it's not really choice then. Second is really something, and it features heavily a character others love and don't. Oh, really? So you recommend the second Banner Saga then, National? More than the first, even? I did like the feel of those games. Like, I think they were quite unique, the first one anyway. I don't know if is the second pretty similar. Haven't played the Walking Dead games. I've been wanting to, though. Did you finish the game series? I only ever played the first Walking Dead. I did play the first chapter of the second, but I stopped because... Okay, I'm going to be honest. I streamed Walking Dead 2 back when... in the very early days of streaming, literally when I only had like 10 followers. I was super new to streaming, and Walking Dead 2 was actually a game, and something happened in that I think it was the first chapter, and it traumatized me, and I was crying on stream. My webcam, my bit rate was like 400 bit rate at that point in time because I had such a terrible internet connection, and I couldn't really stream properly until a year after that because of how bad the internet was. So you couldn't even see me crying properly because my webcam was just so like pixelated. But oh my goodness, and I couldn't continue that. It just broke my heart. And yeah, it's powerful. When a game can do that, it's powerful. But it just was too much. For me, I couldn't play a game that was going to get me into that state at that time. I needed some feel-good stuff. So, oh my goodness, yeah. And the first one was very like that too. In all honesty, I did get like that with the first, but not that much. What happened in the first part of that second episode was like 10 times what that first episode was in terms of emotion. So yeah, I'm just gonna say, if you do play, you've got to be in a headspace where you don't mind getting really sad, because it's a very depressing game, and it's written so good that it will have an impact on you. Like, some games are super sad and really lay it on thick and very melodramatic, but because they're not written good, you're just like, oh, whatever. But with that, what I've always felt with that Walking Dead game, it is actually written quite well, so it actually really hits me hard, for sure. But I can agree with the whole choice thing and it not really being choices, for sure. But I still enjoyed it. I think it, at the time when I played the first Walking Dead, it was like, I was like really impressed, and it deserved all the credit it got. More land destruction, far more difficult decisions. Oh, maybe I should add it to my Steam wish list then. Oh, is it on? Is it even on Steam? I assume it is. Hi, Oscar. How you doing? Oscar Rock, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Friday. Okay, so goal. I think it's to belong, isn't it? Let me double check. Yeah, to belong somewhere. So it's actually the same as my characters. Also, I'm in a bit of a predicament, guys, because my phone charger is broke. So I don't have a phone anymore. And because of the way things are, like with online delivery at the moment, I don't even know how long it's gonna be until I get a charger again. So yes, rip phone. I mean, I might get it working if I mess around with the lead. Sometimes you just gotta like twist it a bit and sellotape it, but it can be a bit of a hassle. Okay, so we gotta get his avatar and his sprite in. Okay, so let's open it. We're gonna put the human version of him in now. I mean, I am tempted to put the wolf version in to show him off in his wolf form, but I feel like we should have his human form in, because that's how I imagine his default being. But we can always change it. I'll think about it. I've already put his human version in stream avatars, so I'd have to change that one too. I'll get them both up now and show you what he looks like. And yeah, the difference between canines and wolverkins is that they have hair. So like, yeah, they are literally that halfway point between a human and a wolf, because the normal canines, like full canine, are just dogs that don't have human hair. So that's kind of how we distinguish between them. And I think for that reason, I kind of do want to put that as his... I'm kind of tempted to actually have that one as the main default avatar, just to show his wolverkin side off a bit more, because he is literally a human there. So people are like, okay. But yeah, that looks good with him. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Like it does look like it's the same guy. You know, and that can be the challenge, you know, getting the beast version of them to look like the human version. Okay, so I'm gonna actually put the wolf one in. So subclasses are here, everyone. Hype time. But I kind of feel like, I don't know if I should add subclasses to the character creation form. I'm kind of unsure, because the lore is so... This lore is so, like, rigid. Like, it's so specific, that I feel like it should be a unique thing and not one of the traditional 8 classes. Because if it was put on the character list, this Wolverkin class, then somebody could create their own Wolverkin character that really clashes with this lore. So I think for that reason, we kind of have to be a little bit careful. And there's definitely always a chance of a clash happening, but we'll get around it if it does. Because when you're more specific about some lore rather than open-ended, there's always a sort of risk of that happening. But I don't like to limit your creativity, guys. So I won't be like, no, you can't do that. I might even add it to the character form where it's got res. I might like just make a note and say we mentioned just something briefly about the subclasses and that you can't, you know, that, you know, they're unique characters. I mean, if someone was desperate to create a Wolverkin, they could, but they'd have to kind of honour the lore that is already there. Okay, so sprite time. So that's his wolf. That's his wolf version. And that's his human version. Did I delete the sprites? Because I usually keep them there for a template. Oh, there we go. There he is. There's Dava. Did I chop off his legs? I did. I was like, his legs don't seem like they're right, and they were chopped off. Okay, so I think that's fine. I always like to make sure they're all matched up properly. Yeah, okay. So David can go. But yeah, I'm definitely getting the character sheets done faster than I used to with this new method. So hooray. Okay, so personality, calm. Ooh, we got a calm one. Calm, pessimistic, and deceitful. Oh my goodness. All these deceitful party members. It's brilliant. Yeah, because it just, you know, it challenges that whole cliche of you being a good heroes. Because deceitful, in my opinion, is a bad trait. Sorry, it is. But it's also very fun as well for a character. Not if you've got friends in real life, that's not good. Don't be deceitful, please. Okay, controlled, cautious, yeah, so narrow-minded, I like it. I want to see more narrow-minded people in the game sometimes. And it can be hard to make narrow-minded characters likeable, but you know, we can do it. Reserved, traditional. No, reserved and rebellious, that's it. So I'm just going to double check those, because when I double checked last time when I did Master Emerald, so there's a wrong one there. Calm, pessimistic, deceitful, controlled, cautious, narrow-minded, reserved and rebellious. Yes. Okay, so we've not got as much info in these bits, so probably won't be as long as Daver's, because there's not as much to fill in here. So and we don't need the faction one because he's a playable character, so we'll hide those. We can bring these up. What is your biggest flaw? Ooh. Ooh, this is an interesting flaw. No self-esteem. So that's something likeable about him. I mean, he's narrow-minded and deceitful, but you know, there's something about characters that have got low self-esteem. Kind of, I think you kind of want him to grow, and there's you know, it's nice that he puts others first. It shows he's got something nice about him. Okay, what is your biggest fear? To be deemed a liability and shunned for being a Wolverkin. Interesting as well, because the beast races in the game so far definitely are probably quite oppressed. Ooh, we got quite a lengthy deepest darkest secret. My young age, I spied on a master's belongings and found a necromancy grimoire. Studied it, giving me some knowledge about death magic while I was being taught druidic skills by one of the shamans, which helped me understand druidism on another level. That both life and death are one when it comes to druidic teachings, which means if I'm able to apply my teachings to the necromantic rituals I studied, I could have power over both life and death alike, being deemed as a death druid if I so choose. Cool. So that kind of makes it very possible for that to be a branch in his skill tree. because in our skill trees, like every job is exclusive to a playable character. So John is our only druid and will only ever be our only druid, and you'll also have the ability to, you know, build the druid you want, because we will have a skill tree sort of mechanic when it comes to the skill building in this game, and because of that, we want to make sure you've got choice with kind of builds you have. So we kind of have 3 specialist subclasses for each class, each job. We haven't talked about that for quite a few streams now. I think the last skill stream was before stream 100 at some point, but we are going to be going back to that because we will be working on battle mechanics stuff next once all this is out of the way. Rose, greatest of all roses. Thank you, Eulogy Master. That is nice of you. That you think I'm the best rose. There's a lot of roses out there. You can do it, Jimmy. I believe in you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I always make sure that it's always like 22 pixels. I'm always having to make sure it's exactly the same. Okay, now this bit. So we'll replace Davis with this. I have no interest in currency. Living as a slave meant I was born humble and remain humble. Okay, my survival skills are while on the run from my masters, which means I have no troubles. In fact, I prefer to live outdoors. Interesting. And that just, you know, we've got an interesting culture building here, you know, like this druid sort of culture, like not being humble and that, and being away from all the greed that some of the regions probably have. Like Chub Cheeks, he's the one after all the raindrops. Well, we pretty much have had a discussion about that, and it's likely if you watch the lore video on YouTube about the sentience of barrels, you'll see that there was an antagonist in that video, and we kind of think it'll probably be Chub Cheeks. Hi Scaly, how you doing? It's good to see you. How are things? How was your week? Well, I have an aunt named Rose. You're still greater than she is. I am. That's an honour. More than your family member. My goodness, Eulogy Master. I don't know what to say. I am shocked. Okay, so I think this is all good now. I think we're at a point where we've finished White Watts. I just want to actually get an M dash in here instead of a normal one, because I'm a nerd for M dashes, you say, but they're impossible to type out the keyboard. So there we go. I've copied and pasted it there. But I haven't proofread this yet. I usually do the proofreading off stream before I post it on the Twitter. So I'll do that later, because you don't want to watch me sitting here proofreading like that for like 5 minutes. So we'll do that after stream. Good. It's just been working from home throughout the week. Next Saturday I'm getting married. What? Scaly, I never even knew that there was somebody that you was with, that you was dating. My goodness me, Scaly. What's going on? Tell me the story. What's happened? How long's this been happening? Maybe you've had a partner this whole time and I just didn't know. Tell me everything. How did it happen? Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. Not tomorrow, but next week. My goodness, that is news. Congrats. Thanks, chat, for congratulating Skyler. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We don't have the ceremony we want due to the pandemic, but we'll be having the big ceremony next year. Oh, that's really nice. We've been together for 7 years. I just didn't share my personal life on stream. Oh, that's why then. I was going to say, I was like, wow, that's fast, Skyler. But if it's been 7 years, then my goodness me, then totally. But I'm really happy for you. That's awesome. And I kind of agree, you know, with sharing. I kind of see why people don't share their personal life on stream. It's a very understandable thing with all the harassers around in this day and age, all the jealous people. It can get a little bit much. So it's sensible and wise. Have I? Crop that one. There we go. So it's not as long as we thought it was going to be. So another character sheet done. Hooray. We did it. So we'll get this one saved. And like I said, I'll proofread it after because I'm expecting there to be a few little typos maybe. But I did copy and paste most of it from Whitewater's character sheet, so it should be fine. It's usually when I type it, when it ends up having typos. Save. Hi, Wes, how you doing? I'm just jealous Scaly never proposed to me. LOL, Eulogy. You're back playing, I heard that you was back playing your game, Eulogy, on the Discord. Magic the Gathering. And you're going to get top of that leaderboard, aren't you? Wow, nice. Almost there, yes. So I'm going to mention it again just because we've got somebody here, Scaly Star, who is close to the 500. I will be making an announcement on Monday, I believe, saying that we will be raising the raindrop limit, but it won't be yet. I'm going to give you guys time for those of you that are close, to at least, you know, gather the raindrops, because I feel like it'd be a bit cruel to just raise it without any warning. So I'm going to post a deadline date for when it's going to get raised. I'm going to give you at least a few weeks, folks, so because some of you are probably going to be close, but I'm mainly doing it just because it's kind of the wisest decision to prevent like an influx of characters, because we've already got quite a lot, and of course we're going to have way more over time, especially when we get to end game. But this is a very long-term project. It's going to go on for years, and there's going to be a lot of streams, a lot of people that probably would hang out over all those years. So it's probably a good idea to raise the limit now and make it feel super special for those that do reach those raindrops. And then you guys who do have a character, it's more special, and we put quality over quantity. Quality over quantity is just very important. Make it 5,000. Yeah, what I'll be doing is I'll be putting it up to 1,000. I think that's to double it is fair for now, but it would only ever get like a crazy amount if like there was ever, you know, 1,000 people in stream or something, which isn't gonna happen. But I think with the size community that we've got now, I think that 1,000 raindrops will be fair, I'd say so. So yay. Don't you worry, Aggro. Scaly was being sarcastic, so you're good. You're fine. Aggro really wants to be a character. Leaderboards are filled with absolutely insane decks, and I took a break so I don't have the cards nor the money to make an insane deck, but give me a few more months to gather the cards and I will give the Mythic a run for their money. You can do it, Eulogy Master. I know that you're a pro at that game. I think 1,000 is very fair. Yeah, I think it's a nice number as well. It's a memorable number, 1,000. So, oh, I'm a torrent. Yay, a torrent. Oh no, Moonshadow's a pirate. Yeah. But yeah, guys, don't you worry. Like, I wouldn't like just raise it randomly because that'd disappoint people. I'm gonna give you a few weeks of warning before it officially goes up. So I will post an announcement just to give you guys the date. But it was always gonna come. It was always gonna happen at some point or another because the community. We get new people come every stream, and people want to make a character. There's an interest there, so I've got to be smart about it because we would end up with a lot. We would end up with so many, and we would eventually not be able to keep up with it. I think I got this. You've got it, Aggro. You'll get it. Okay. So that, I did save that as a PNG, I think. I'm going to just do it again because, in case. Okie dokie. We'll cross off all these tabs. So, now I can add a tick to white bots. Okay guys, so yeah, we've got Fantasias and Davers up on Twitter right now, and Masked Emeralds will be going up today, later today, and White Wat's probably tomorrow, early. Yeah, I'll probably post, I'm probably going to work on posting either 1 or 2 a day, just so I don't spam people's Twitter feeds. Now, we definitely, I'd say we've got time to get at least another 2 done today, so we'll go to Glacians now and then Zexes. And then we'll just have 5 more, and then we'll do those 5 on Monday. I'm pretty confident we can get those done on Monday. Then Wednesday next week we can move on to some exciting stuff. Not for me because I'm bad at the battle system side of things, but I'm always still learning and it's fun to learn. I hope you're doing well. I made it to the second round of interviews for getting my game into the NYU incubator, so I'm pretty hyped. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. Wes, is there a voting system or is it all decided from the people that run it? Because otherwise I'd say give us the link so we can vote for you. But yeah, that's amazing news. Congrats. What kind of gaming is it? Wes has been posting his game, some screenshots of his game in our Discord in the creative work section. So if you want to post more, Wes, always you're totally welcome to. Of course, don't feel you only have to do it once. And yeah, so keep an eye out, guys, if you're interested. The creative work channel has lots of awesome, cool community creative work. It's decided by the people running it. Oh right, awesome. Well, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Let us know. Let us know how it goes. Ooh, exciting. Okay, so Glacian's character now. So Glacian's character is also a playable character. So Glacian's character is a dragon tamer, which is a sort of subclass of a summoner. In all honesty, it's just a specific summoner, a summoner specific to dragons. So I need to check how large Glacian's bio is. Okay, so it's pretty long, but not like as long as White Watts. Maybe Daver's length is something we can. Now, I think I'll use White Watts as the template, and I'll just make it smaller. We'll do that. Glacian's character's really cute. And he liked it a lot as well when I messaged him. He was like, Alex, he loved it. So I'm glad. It's decided by the people running it. It's a horror text adventure about the Jersey Devil. Yeah, and the art style's really unique and cool as well. I really like it. I'm fond of it. Wes, lurking your Twitter right now. Yeah, defo. Give a little spy to Wes. Look at all his stuff. Hi, Oracle, how are you doing? And Dava, thank you so much for the host. How are you doing, Dava? We posted your character sheet on Twitter. It's up there now. He's famous. Hi, Rose, good to see you. How you doing, Oracle? Oracle, we're going to have to get your character set up in stream avatars now you're here. Because I can see we've got 2 of the same, which is what happens. So it's easy peasy. All we have to do is do a command. And I think it's this. I think it's avatar. Oracle of Twilight. Change. If my memory serves me correctly, then it's that. Yay. Oh no. I'm Oracle. I think that's because I did it the wrong way around. It might have to be changed before avatar. So I will do that. I'm Oracle now. So Rose Rainblood is you. There we go. So that's fixed now. It's there properly. It's above the right person. I'm going to have to change back as well. I always get confused with the way round it should be. There we go. Yay, I'm back to normal. Hooray! Huzzah! Scaly, I love you. I love you too. Scaly and Dave are besties. Scaly's got... Have you heard Scaly's big news, Dave? I'm assuming Dave would know. Creative people gather creative people, go figure. Yeah, indeed, Dave. You can't be Oracle until you buy out Sun Microsystems. How you doing today? He looks good. Yeah, this guy is a subclass with everyone. He's like the halfway point between a wolf, a canine, because we call them canines, canine and a human. He's a wolvikin. So this is interesting, guys, because although you are sort of rigid to the 8 races when you pick, I don't like saying no to people who kind of attempted to create some sort of subclass if the visuals allow you to, which, as you can see, this is a wolf face with human hair, so that's kind of how he's the halfway point. But because I love subclasses, I love factions, and I kind of like making the world more interesting like that and filling it with all sorts of things. But the only issue would be that I'm not going to add this race to the character form because otherwise it could mess up the whole lore with this Wolvikin. So it would just kind of be what's thing, I'd say. But if someone in the community really wanted to be a Wolvikin, there could be, but they'd just have to stay loyal to the lore that's been written on the character sheet if they did want to. I suppose it's a bit like you, Oracle, because you're like the halfway point between human and elf. You're a half elf. So yes, you're a subclass too. Yeah, I did know about that. Congratulations. Yay. David might know because I hinted about it on Twitter forever ago. I want to see, will you be sharing pickies, Scaly? If you don't, that's fine, but I'm curious. I want to see. But yes, okay, so we've saved this as Glacians now, so we're gonna be using this guy's character sheet as a template for Glacian. So we'll fill it in. I think it's Tristan. I think that's how it's spelled. Yeah, Tristan. just Tristan. Some people have surnames as well, but other people have just the one name, and that's fine. So this one is an elf. He's an elf dragon tamer. He was originally going to be a summoner, but he decided he wanted to only wanted to summon dragons for his class. So we thought the name Dragon Tamer would be fitting for this class, and that left Summoner open for someone else, which eventually did get taken by Ezexion. He took the Summoner class in the end. I'm just going to check the spelling of that because I think it's all one word. I'm just have a look at the message and make sure. I don't know whether to have it one word as one separate word. I think I'm going to just give it a Google and see. I think I like it as one word, but I don't know. Because all the other classes are one word, so I'm inclined to keep it as that. Notice me, senpai. I've forgotten I've noticed you. If I am the senpai, it could be someone in chat that's the senpai, which should be understandable because chat's awesome. Chat's awesome. I'm not sure if we'll take many photos for this one since it's basically just a witness only ceremony due to the pandemic going on still, but I'll share for sure if we have some, and I'll be sure to share from the big wedding when we can have it next year. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's totally understandable for sure, but I'm really happy that you're still able to go ahead with that during these times. Super happy for you. Something nice in these dark days. Okay, so let's get this cutie pie of an elf in. Right, so where is he? Where's he hiding? There's so many characters that sometimes I've got to like really scour my files to find them. Here we are. So yes, in Raindrop Chronicles, oh, have we not? I don't think we pasted it properly. In Raindrop Chronicles, there's probably going to be a lot of playable characters over time. We're already getting quite a few. And of course, in the game so far, we've only got Rose and you, the hero, at the moment. But I kind of definitely want to introduce a new playable character soon, in episode 1 for sure. Probably the next main quest or the quest after that. There'll be someone new joining who's a playable character, because we've only got Rose and the hero in the party at the moment, and it'll be nice to get that third member in the party soon. Just because it'll just make the battles a bit more balanced and better. So yes, but eventually, of course, when we meet more playable characters over the course of the game, we'll probably have a sort of system in place where you can have a party switcher and pick the one you want. Pick the ones you want to fight with you. And this is where we get have to put our thinking caps on, because different classes all work good against different bosses or different enemies. But it's gonna be like at least a mid-game, like a middle episode by the time we start getting those party members all in the game. In episode 1, we'd probably only have, I couldn't see us having more than 4 in episode 1 at the most. How many characters have you created so far? Well, that's you'd have to go on the character section on the website and count them all. Or look at the Discord, because we've got the list here forgotten. Once I've posted the new character sheets up on Twitter, I also add them into the Discord. So Fantasia and Dave are here now too in this list. I put new by them so peeps know they're the new ones. And in the next website update, which will maybe be May or early June, they'll all get put on the website as well, the new ones will. Because I prefer doing the website in like big updates rather than updating it bits at a time. It just makes my job a bit easier. But yeah, as you can see, there's quite a few. I don't know the number, but there's a few. But there's more. You've obviously got Carol the Barrel, Meryl, Woody, Elvira, Lemon, Blueberry, Tomato, etc. Fiona Bookington and Nigel Bookington, all the non-community NPCs. They're in there as well. I suppose we would have to count them. So I want to make it clear on the next update who's the community characters and who are the non-community characters. I might have like some icon or something on their little avatar frames to indicate that. I think that could be a cool idea. Some people might assume that the barrels were community characters, but they're not. They're like the special characters that we've created together specifically for the game on stream. Need to join Discord. Thank you, David, for that command, because I can tend to ramble on and I'm behind, and a minute later I realise that someone's asked for the Discord. So thanks, Dave, I appreciate that. But yeah, so it's all stuff is going to be in here, all the character sheets, and that I like to put them in there because we haven't updated the website yet, and also because not everybody has a desktop version where they can see the character sheets. So they're also going to be on the Twitter, but I think it's probably much easier to view them like this for now until the website gets updated. Okay, so back to Lucian's character, Elf Dragon Tamer. So we're going to replace his information. I'm going to copy and paste it. Oh, thank you, Scaly, for gifting a sub to Dave. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's have some hype in chat, everybody. Scaly, you're sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yay, nice. Now, Scaly's got a gold present on her by her name. Yay. Thank you so much, Scaly. I hope you enjoy the sub, Dave, huh? Now you've got some bat emotes, and you get double raindrops too, but Dave has already got his character, so he might not care much, but you know, it's still always good to have those raindrops. I mean, raindrops, let me do it. I'm on my way to being a Leviathan. I need 2,666 more. Well, I'm the devil. I need that much more to go into a Leviathan. So, yeah, even me, the streamer, isn't the max rank yet on this. Yay, thanks for the hype, guys. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste exactly what Glacian's put in. And I'm going to... anything that needs changing... I think he's written it in first person, so we wouldn't need to change that, but... I'm going to change the eyes to uppercase ones just because I'm a big old nerd. Okay, I'm going to tidy that up after because everything's a mess at the moment. Let's just do this a bit at a time. So I'm trying to find a Trying to find legendary creatures as summons for combat and companionship. Specifically for combat and companionship, specifically the different types of dragons of the world. Frost, fire, shock, poison, and wind. Awesome. So this is pretty cool. Like, most of the playable characters are probably going to be, the progression with their like skill learning will be done, most of them, from battles over time as you grind, progression in that way. Like the skill tree would probably be quite similar to Sphere Grid in Final Fantasy X, where you learn skills that way as you, the more battles you play. But for characters like this one, you would gain the dragon summon from a side quest, for example, and so doing that particular quest where you find that dragon, you'll gain them then, not from grinding battles. So this is quite a different way of learning. So I think that's pretty an interesting way as well of learning skills. I truly do not know what I have done to deserve friendships like these. Because you're an awesome human, Dava. And everyone wants to be a friend, that's why. That's why. I am back. Yay, welcome back, Oracle. Do you like seeing your character walking across? Dava's there too now. Hooray. I keep discovering awesome streamers and communities this past month, from Mary to Charlie and from Charlie to Rose. So much awesomeness. Oh, thank you, Forgotten. That means a lot that you consider me among the awesome streamers, especially Charlie, because Charlie's really lovely and she got partner yesterday as well. So that's really amazing for her. So cool. I do enjoy seeing him walking around. He is cool. Yeah, I love his glowing eyes. It's really unique. No one else has that look in the game. So, you know, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Who knows if there'll be any others that have them type of eyes. But I feel like it should be for special people. You're all special though. Every character's special in their own way. But, you know, Oracle's got like a... He's like a very peculiar one, very unusual. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Don't know if I should use an ampersand for that. I already have one as a companion, so I'm partway there, yay! Which makes perfect sense, because when he joins the party, if he had no dragons, then what would we use in battle? So it makes sense that we'd start with one. And Glacian, like, adores Pokemon. He's a big fan of Pokemon, so I think he's definitely inspired by Pokemon. I was very shy when I was young, and whilst exploring in the woods I came upon an egg of an ice dragon that I eventually hatched. I named it Blanche, and it's my main companion and friend. Throughout my journey, I hope to come out of my shell more and gain more friends, even if they're human and human-like. I love human-like. LOL. Okay, so yeah, elves. I wonder if they're snobby, a lot of them, or I wonder if they're friendly and don't mind humans. I mean, I don't think people fit into stereotypes, and some elves might be snobby. because that's kind of the law with a lot of elves in games, like Elder Scrolls, them high elves. They're snobs. I'm sorry, fans of high elves. But yeah, but then you've got some that are probably more down to earth as well. We really haven't fleshed out elf lore that much, but we'll have a good look at all our elf characters that you guys have submitted, and we'll get an overall picture of what they're like. Because even if we know that stereotypes is nonsense and every individual's unique, the world itself and society will invent stereotypes for races, because that's what society's like. They're butt faces. Okay, so we can fit that onto that line, I think. I feel like changing that ice to frost simply because he's called it frost there, just for consistency purposes. I'm curious about how it's called, how the dragon's in it, like, so there's no gender maybe. That's interesting too. I'm probably thinking really very deep into this. It's just a word, but it still makes me wonder. But we could always give it a gender, but that's as well up to Glacian too. Throughout my journey, but you know, even we can't always like rigidly, sometimes we'll go our own way with the characters too, and we'll develop them for the person, because sometimes they're not around or active, so we'll do it. But I like to give you guys the option if you do want to develop your character, if you have the choice, if you wish. Leg Mark, how are you doing? I get here and the first thing I hear is Rosie throwing down the gauntlet with some serious high elf shade. That's it, folks. The battle lines are drawn. Rosie versus high elf fans will settle this at WrestleMania. LOL, Leg Mark. You make me laugh with your poetry, because yeah, it is poetry. It is. It's fun. I like it, Leg Mark. But yes, it's true. High elves, I mean, maybe some of you like them. And we're not going to copy Skyrim, or Elder Scrolls, but sometimes you obviously take an inspiration from other elves in other forms of media, and you give it your own little spin, and that's what we'll probably do. Look what character just wandered into the screen. Why, looks so much like Rose, but slightly off. It's the imposter. I know. Look, we've got double Rose on the stream avatars, everyone. It's definitely quite the shock to see that. I think Rose is going to have a very difficult time accepting this imposter. Dark Elves are better fight me. I actually agree, Forgotten Crusader, and I've not played Morrowind, but I've heard that Dark Elves are pretty cool in that game. Conversely, elves can also be seen, and I need to play Morrowind, I really do. I've got it, I actually have the game, I own it, but I haven't got round to playing it yet. I've had it for years on Steam. Elves can also be seen as very playful, especially if there isn't something like halflings to fit that role. Well, don't you worry, Matt. We have dwarves in the game. We have dwarves. So, nobody, I'm going to just say, folks, that nobody has picked dwarf yet. No, there's not one single dwarf in the game. There's an opportunity to give a bit of lore to a dwarf and, you know, give them a little bit of a story. But, you know, there was talk of underground dwarves. Someone came in stream, and what sparked the idea was someone says, I think it would be cool if underground dwarves were in this game. And I was like, we don't actually have dwarves, because originally we only had 7 classes. And then I added dwarf later on as the 8th class. And so all we know so far, someone had an idea about dwarves living underground, but who knows if that would be a faction we eventually do or not. But it's there, ready for if someone ever did want to be a dwarf of any kind in the game. So, but yeah, some else could be playable. Like this Tristan here seems very, very, very sweet. You know, he's an elf, but he's sweet. So we're gonna get all kinds of personalities in all races, even the reptiles. I'm sure. Like at the moment, the reptiles come across as pretty sly from what we've got on our character sheets, but there could be more to them, you know, and they're gonna be considered the race that we're against in this game. But I like to kind of turn things on its head at some point. We'll say, but I kind of like doing that kind of thing where it's not as simple as heroes and villains. There's more layers there. I was seriously considering a dwarf. Were you, Oracle? Hi, Bite. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Let me go back in chat because I'm definitely behind. By the way, Rose and David, my memory is literally terrible, so sorry if I've asked before, but are you playing Animal Crossing on the Switch? I am, Scaly. I actually am. So you can definitely add me if you'd like to. I actually don't know my Switch info at all. In all honesty, I don't, because I'm a Switch noob. I am a massive Switch noob. But just let me know what info I've got to pass on to, and I'll shoot you a DM and let you know. I don't know what my username is or friend code. I think it's friend code, isn't it, with Switch? The first thing that a dark owl sees when it comes topside is the sun. The last thing that a dark owl sees when it comes topside is a wolf's elf arrow in their throat. A wood elf's arrow in their throat. LOL. Aw, poor dark elf. They're so underrated. By the time I got that job, I would let me afford a Switch. The supply had already dried up. I'll probably get one later this year. And Animal Crossing is in tier 2 on my list to grab behind Smash Ultimate and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Yeah, Dave will have Animal Crossing too. I'm trying to get all the villages I want, and it's going to be really hard because it's all about RNG. I feel sorry for High Elves. It's like when they introduced everybody's were High Elves cool, and then the Dark Elves come along and everyone be all like, Dark Elves, that's way cool. And the High Elves be all, hey, couldn't we still get some love? And everyone be your yesterday's news. Yeah, you feel sorry for them even though they're super mean. My goodness, Legmark. Elves typically come off as snobbish to humans because elves tend to have such much longer lifespans and see many of the issues that humans have as inferior or trivial. Yeah, and humans are arrogant in their own way as well. I mean, humans are always the ones that screw up the world most of the time, I feel. Elves probably have their reasons. Well, any race has their reasons for disliking humans if they do. Dwarves being a faction, who knows? Who knows? I'll look forward to when we first get our first dwarf. That's all I'll say. Someone built their own Switch. That's pretty impressive. I would never be able to do that. There's a code that starts with SW. That's all you need to pass on. Awesome. I'll send you a message, Scaly, if I remember. Oh, I do, with that code. Something weird, I logged on my Switch yesterday and someone actually added me. I had a friend request and I wondered how they got my code because I didn't give it to them. How would they find it? Is there any way for people to find your code? Because I was like, wow, I have a friend request. I've not given my code to anyone. I literally only have one friend on my Switch, so it was a real shock to have someone add me. I was like, whoa. This is a surprise. Would love to be your mysterious Animal Crossing suitor. LOL. I just really want these certain villages. I made a list. I'm trying to grind tickets so I can get them. Okay, so should we say even if they're not elves, or even if they're human? That kind of, if we have it as even if they're human, like just that makes you think, oh, there's a rivalry. There's this sort of between elves and humans, because why else would he say even if they're humans? But yes, I like to I like to look at everybody's character sheet in detail. I like to look at it in detail and pick out things and be like, ooh, yeah, that could be a thing. So I'm noticing all these little things in the sentence. I think by human, like, he means humanoid, in all honesty. But I feel like we should just have it as human, just for a bit of clarity. And also because then we can fit it online. Well, we can keep it like that, and he looks a bit tidier like that. Okay, awesome. If I ever manage to reach the Raindrops, be ready for a battle mage to join the ranks. One-handed sword and one hand and staff on the other. Awesome. I don't know if I've got battle mage on the playable characters. If it was a playable character you was thinking of, because of course there are people out there that are major NPCs that have a class. Like Kung, she's a hunter, but she's a major NPC, not a playable character, which means that although she's a hunter, she is not someone who is playable in battles. But, you know, if you want a playable NPC, I might have to add that to the sheet, but I kind of want to keep it for you, Forgotten, because I won't want anyone else to take it if that's the kind of idea you've got in mind. So if you ever did get the Raindrops, if you ever hit it and you're about to fill in the character sheet, I'll just have to add it then. I'll put in Battle Mage last minute. And then there's no chance of someone nicking it from you then. I mean, I could always put other on under character. That's always possible. I could always add other and allow people to type in the class they want. The only issue with that is that I wouldn't know for sure if it would 100% work in RPG Maker MV, because I kind of like to know it's a class that's doable first, but I feel like I should add it anyway. I could always add in brackets if there's, I could always put a note saying might have to change if it's impossible to integrate in the engine, but might need to alter or something like that. But it'll allow you guys to enter the class you want if it isn't on the list that way, and it'll save me having to do manual work all the time. So yeah, maybe I'll add other under class. I can help you with villagers, yeah? How do you know which ones I like? Oracle, you have Animal Crossing? Oh yeah, I think you do, don't you? I swear I remember you saying. But yes, it's all I am aware is that you have to go on the Mystery Islands, and sometimes some appear at your campsite. And I know that sometimes you can swap with people that you know and are friends with, but I've heard it's a pretty complicated process. But I have a list. I know exactly the 7 that I want. I've already got the 3 that I want. And there's 7 more. So who knows? Who knows if I'll get them? That would be great, Rose. Yeah, for sure, I'll do that. And as for like, if you ever reach the Raindrops, I'm sure you will. I mean, this is not a project that's going to be over anytime soon. It's gonna be years long. So it's going to go on for a long time, and I'm sure you'll get the Raindrops in some point in the next decade. Perhaps, we'll say. But I will be raising them soon, guys. Just again, a warning that I will be raising them I'm going to give you guys another few weeks to get raindrops in streams, and it is very doable to get 500 raindrops in a month. So even if you had 0 right now, if you was in stream every stream, you could probably get the 500 before we raise the requirements. So I'm thinking probably I'll give a date. I'm going to make an announcement on the Discord, but the reason I'm going to be raising it, I'm going to double it to 1,000. The reason I'm going to raise it is simply because we're going to be sacrificing quality over quantity otherwise, because we will get a lot eventually. I imagine this time next year, if we keep it as 500, things could get pretty crazy. And we could have so many characters that we would get a bit, oh yeah, so many. And I'm confident that even if we have like a cast of 100, that we'll manage it, and they'll be all split in each of the episodes we release, and we'll get to see them. I think we could, especially if we have a huge city, we could add like a couple of dozen in just one city if necessary, the ones that fit, if it ever came to the stage that we've got absolutely loads. But I like to, be smart about it and careful, because it could easily get out of hand if we don't raise the requirements soon. And I've always said that. I've always said if things got a little bit more, the stream like gained more interest by people, and I was getting lots of followers and lots of new people, then it would have to be raised, because you would get too many. I have a bunch of amiibo cards. I can invite specific villagers, and if I replace them, you can come to my island and get them when they move out. Oh really? You have some amiibo cards? That's fun, because I was looking into them, and I don't know if they deliver them here, but it's a bit confusing. I didn't look into it properly, because I kind of want to at least give grinding the mystery islands a chance. But I know that if I get super salt, if I'm getting bad luck, I'm going to get impatient and I'll get burnt out from it. So I'll probably take on your offer then, Oracle. Once I've had a little bit of fun grinding, I'll probably eventually be like, that's it now, I'm done. Where's them amiibo cards? By the way, Animal Crossing released during the pandemic was such a lucky coincidence, since it boosted the sales so much because everyone inside is paying. Yeah, and it's a really good game as well, like socially, and it's really chill and relaxing and therapeutic as well. So I think for everybody right now with what's going on, it is definitely the perfect game. Which villages you want? I'm going to type them in chat. I remember them off by heart, because I know who my babies. I know my babies. Let me think. I'm saying I know them off by heart, and I'm still having to think, but I will get them all in. So there's one more. Who have I forgot? I'm going to kick myself when I remember. I've got a note here on my phone. Let me get it up. There's one I'm missing. That's the one. They're the ones I want. I'm a softie for the lazy ones. I like the lazy villagers. A lot of them ones are lazy ones. Hee. Oracle will say now, oh, I don't have the amiibo cards of them. And I'll be like, okay. I can help you with Coco and Chester. Oh, can you? Awesome. Wow. Well, I know that I'll probably be going on about, I've got 20 Mystery Island tickets so far, so I'll probably be going on them in the next few days, I'd say, and grinding those. So if I have no luck with those two, and then on there, then I'll probably we'll figure out something. You got Rolled. Rolled's my baby. There's a reason why he's first on the list. He's like the one. Like, yeah, I'd scream if I saw Rolled. But yeah, I've heard it can be a bit of a confusing process. Like, you gotta, like, do it at the right time and stuff or something. But I wanted to buy a Switch at Christmas time, but then Steam sale happened. Yeah, Steam sales. Yeah, that can be very tempting. I agree. Okay, so let's make this smaller. Keyboard ASMR. I think that's about right. Yeah. Okay, so what was his goal? I think it's to find a legendary creature. It is. I have had people offer me 20 million bells for Judy and I'll never give her up. Oh, really? She's your fave then? I can't remember which one Judy is now because I don't know the villagers that well. I just looked through the wiki and found the ones that I liked and I was drawn to, and then I made my list from that. Oh, what's that? Bit of fluff. I thought it was a bug. Oh, sorry. Sorry guys about that bang. Hit them with the never gonna give you up song, Oracle. LOL. Only game I want on Switch is Paper Mario. I love Paper Mario. Yeah, I don't, honestly, like, I don't play the Switch much at all. Like, this Animal Crossing's the first one. The first one, really. It's not even my Switch. It's like a shared Switch between the whole household. So, for that reason, I don't like playing much, really. Okay, so we can move these up now because we've got more space. Okay. All these heroes have all these motivations. She's a cub. She's a mix of pink and purple with starry blue eyes. Aww. My cub was Chester. I was looking through the cubs and I saw Chester and I was like, yeah, I need that panda. That's all I thought. My eyes were drawn to that panda. Yeah, you have a few games that you love very much on Nintendo. You're more PlayStation, yeah. I have the PlayStation 4. That's kind of my console. And if a new game comes out, I usually always get it on there because my PC's an old lady now, so I like to look after it and not play too many PC games. And if I'm going to play a PC game, it'd have to be like one that wasn't too demanding of my PC. the PlayStation exclusives, yeah. For sure. Okay, so we got a sprite now. So I might do one or two character sheets over the weekend, because I don't want to leave too many to do on Monday's stream, because I want this to be finished on Monday. So I think no more than leaving 5 to get done would be ideal for Monday's stream. So I'll see, but I've mainly got to get Neffle's pig mask done over the weekend. And also I kind of want to do some research into the battle system again and battle mechanics, because that's kind of where what we're going to be doing after these character sheets. So I have to be well prepared for it, because it's definitely the bit that's out of my comfort zone a bit more. But it's fun to learn. Hiya, Sarah. How you doing? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. You need to collect a village with each different personality type. The different personality types will teach you different reactions. Yeah. See, I'm all about the cuteness, because I find the lazy villagers all like the cutest, and there's some personality types like snobby and that where I don't like any of them. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just have lazy ones, and maybe that's playing the game wrong, but I'm kind of just like, yeah, I just want who's cute and who I like. I'm a rebel. That's what I am. Okay, I think that is done, so we'll get rid of the sprite underneath. So yeah, just personality, and this bit's the easiest bit, this part here. Filling in this little table. Yeah, PC games can be time consuming. Some of them for sure. I have seen people hit the villagers they don't like with the net, those savages. That's mean. See, I'd never do that. Like, even with the villagers I don't like, I feel really guilty about having to send them away. That happened because Nate the bear was one I didn't like plan to get Nate. He just randomly ended up on my village, and I was like, why is Nate on my village? He wasn't one on my list, and I got like really mad about it, but then when I saw him, I started feeling really bad about the idea of getting rid of him, because he did some really cute things. So I decided to keep him. Doing fine, just chilling. Oh yay, we should chill. It's Friday. Friday's about the chilling. I think you would love Diana. She is on my island, and she is a snooty type. She has her own set of reading glasses and will find quiet places to sit and read. Yeah, I am very fussy, in all honesty. I just like derpy and lazy ones, and ones that aren't traditionally cute. Like, I don't think a lot of people would think Nate or Joey were cute, but I think they're adorable with those eyebrows. There's a reason why Carol the Barrel has these thick eyebrows going on, because I like the eyebrows. But yeah, so I'm not sure which one Diana is, but I should probably get to know these villagers better, because I barely know any of them. There's hundreds. What trees did you get? Cherry ones. I got cherry. And I'm glad, because I think the cherries look quite nice. Okay, so the personality is curious again, optimistic and honest. Spontaneous, cautious. Reserved and rebellious. Awesome, so I think that's fine. I'm just going to double check though. Oh no, I didn't put curious in. I'm getting hungry for my dinner now. My tummy's doing a big rumble. Curious, optimistic, honest, spontaneous, cautious, open-minded, reserved, rebellious. That's all correct. Good job, me. Just these bits to fill in now. You should get Blue Bear the Cub. She is a peppy type but has the same birthday as you. I have her amiibo, yeah. I'm just one of the ones I want, Oracle, because I'm attached to them now. And I'm going to feel bad if I get another one and then have to get rid of it. I feel so bad at getting rid of them. I have no idea what else to say other than talking about my WIP stories and my humorous dislike on vampires. You dislike vampires? My goodness, but I'm a vampire, Sarah. What are we going to do now? I'm a vampire in RL as well, not just my game. Okay. That is I just hope you don't dislike me, but maybe you do. Sometimes some do. You can't please everyone. For sure. Okay. Okay, I don't know if I should... Oh, we should switch that to playable character as well now, because he is a playable character, not a major NPC. I'm in the process of victim Ribbit the Cyborg Frog. I have too many jock types on my island. Ribbit was one that was... he was one on my shortlist, but he didn't quite make it. He nearly did, but I decided Raddle was my frog, so I picked Raddle. But I think Ribbit's really cute and he's really unique as well. I like vampires unless they're Twilight ones, like Who Threw Vampires Party and Dance was a good idea. Exactly. I think that any kind of fictional themes or, you know, races and all that kind of thing, I think they all have the potential to be good if they're written well, you know. It's not... I kind of disagree with saying, oh, I just dislike anything, all of them, and I'll never play or read anything that has that in it, because sometimes it can actually be done brilliantly. Like, yes, some fiction might be awful with them in, but not, you know, sometimes, you know, it's all about how it's written and it's all about the writer. I'm not going to talk about the latter half as it's rather offensive and most likely a trigger word to me. I'm a bit confused, Sarah. I'm sorry it triggers you, but you know, we do that this is a stream where we have vampires in the game, so if it's gonna trigger you, then you know. But I'm sorry to hear that. And Rice and Bram Stoker got vampires right. Yeah, but that's cool, guys. And also, thanks. I want to be recommended fiction that you guys do recommend, because although I rarely get the time to read nowadays, it's still nice to have a list. You never know if I ever want to start reading again. So I appreciate that, Oracle. But yeah, exactly. Some do it right. Okay, so we got a bit to fill in here. And yeah, we are coming towards the end of the day, but yeah, I might finish the rest of this character sheet off stream. We've got the PSD saved. So let me just see. Let's go back to our Trello page and just see who we've got. So we finished Master Emerald and White, and they're going to get posted on Twitter over the weekend. And I'd like to get Glacian and Zexy done as well off stream. And I think then we're not left with too much work to do on Monday then, when we do the rest. So yay, okay, so this is what our list looked like. And if anyone does want to look at the Trello page, and there's a command for it, I think the bot regularly puts the link in chat, so I won't spam you guys. Okay, so I'm a hungry one. I hope you all have an awesome Friday, everybody, and weekend. Okay guys, so we're going to go and raid somebody now, so if anybody wants to join in, that'd be awesome. Exclamation mark raid. Okay, let's see who is on. I think I've got somebody. I think I have. Okay guys, so Rose Raven. Oh no, it's end of stream. Yeah, it's end of stream now. I'll be back on Monday, guys. So we will be finishing, hopefully Monday. There will be the last character stream, because I really would like to get them done, because we've got some stuff to get cracking with. So we'll hopefully finish then. Sarah, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Have you done the Poppy character card yet, or is that to come? She's to come, Legmog. She's on the list. We're doing them in order of submission, so I think Poppy's one of the ones on the second half. So maybe you'll see me do her on Monday stream, Legmog. Okay, so have a great one. See you Monday. Thank you, guys. Okay, so we're gonna pass the love on to Guysicle, because he's a new friend and he seems pretty cool, and he's playing Mario Maker. So raid. Hopefully I can spell this one right. I don't think I did that raid command properly. Have a raid in progress, have I? Doesn't say I have on my end, guys. Apparently I have, though. Slobs has been a silly. Anyway, I'll see you on Monday. You're all the best. Take care. Have an awesome weekend.